Hey guys, Sean Church with Pittsburgh Power again here. We have a 379 with a 6NZ cat in it. It's been built a little bit for higher horsepower. It's here with us today for some issues with the engine as far as kind of cutting out on certain RPM and engine load, so we're going to try and simulate that on the dyno. So with that, we have it hooked up to everything. We got the truck hooked up to our IV system. So we have our boost here, we got fuel pressures and fuel restriction, and we're going to be looking at through the sight glass to make sure there's no air in the fuel system. We also have a pyro on the other side, so we're going to put it on the dyno and see what we get as results. All right guys, we just got done warming it up, so we're going to check for air in the fuel system real quick. We're going to do that with the truck idling, not going anywhere, just high idle and a low idle. Go ahead and start it up. Alright guys, so as you saw in the video, there was a little bit of air there, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that, see if we can find something. There wasn't a lot, but you kind of saw it more prominent when we had the higher RPM at 1500 RPM, so you want to hold it up there for a little bit to verify. Guys, so as you can see from the pull, did a little more than we expected. We weren't fully sure, so let's take a look over what it did. Put down almost 850 horsepower to the ground and 2560 to the wheels on the torque. Boost at 44. Now we did feel a slight hesitation as we're pulling down in RPM. And we can see that in the fuel pressure. So we have an issue. The first fuel pressure, this one right here, is fuel pressure before it goes into the cylinder head. And this fuel pressure is after the cylinder head. So we're losing about 50 pounds of fuel pressure, which ideally you only want about 10 to 15-ish on these cat engines, but we're losing a lot of fuel pressure. So that's definitely causing an issue. Restriction's okay. Pyrometer was great, and we do have some air in the system, in the fueling system on the truck side. But anyway, right now it's got a little hiccup, but it's running really good. Okay guys, so we saw there was air in the fuel there after the filter on the frame, so we bypassed that filter, we unioned them together, used the dyno pull to see what we did, because we still got that slight stutter in the engine and that loss of fuel pressure after the head. Now this wasn't really, we didn't think it was going to cause any problem with the fuel pressure loss, but we wanted to make sure that that might correct the stutter issue. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the dyno pull did about the same really. Actually, we a little bit lower on torque on this pole, but the fuel pressure is still the same. We're still down, 50, 60 pounds of pressure, and we still have that stutter. So yeah, there was that air in the system, which you don't want, but we still have an issue to address here. So we're going to go on to the next step. All right, guys. So next step, we're going to hook a facet to this to see what it does with the fast. Which supplies a constant fuel pressure to the main fuel pump. So we got this in the shop, just a portable tank full of fuel. We've got a fast hook up, so we just hook straight up right to the engine. So we're going to do another dyno pole with the fast this time. All right, guys, so we just did the pole with the fast hooked up. We did have a problem we're gonna look into. We had, looked like we had an air pocket in our one fuel line for our pressure reading on after the head, because we were checking around and it had a negative number. So we went ahead and cleared that line out, made sure it's nice and open and everything, not causing any more problems. Did a pole, and we actually gained that, it went up, because we were down to like 30, but we gained some. So let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Did about the same with the horsepower, but we did notice looking at the torque was that the torque, how long it held the highest torque numbers was a longer period of time compared to the very first pole we did, because it didn't start at this time at all, but it made about the same power, but it held the torque longer down low. So it was like it's finally getting as much fueling as it needs. But as you can see over here in the fuel pressure, so this is before the head, we actually gained about 10 psi. Because we were about 90 before, and our after the head's back up to 80, which we're still, it's still a little much in between, but I think we're finding out that it just needs a little bit more fuel. But we got rid of that stutter. So anyway, we're gonna keep playing around here and see what we can do and go from there. All right, so we're gonna look over this dyno pole that we just did. This is a controlled dyno, guys, because we didn't want to run the engine fan the entire time, because we want to see actual horsepower put to the ground. So this time it did 870 horsepower to the ground and just over 2,600 foot-pounds of torque. Boost, we did 46 pounds of boost. And pyrometer, highest we saw was about 950. And this is cold side after the turbo, which is really good, running really well. So just to recap on this whole project, this CAT engine is a little bit built engine. It has a marine cam, marine injectors, and a tune in it. And he was having a problem with slight hesitation pulling hills and whatnot. So we found that it had some air in the fuel system on the truck side, so we addressed that. But then also just didn't have quite enough fuel pressure. So we hooked the fast up, we got 10 psi of fuel pressure, and that seemed to take away the hesitation. It didn't really do anything as far as gaining more horsepower or torque, but it did give a little bit more RPM range of that torque, so it's a little bit longer. So yeah, this guy's good to go. Feel free, guys, to leave a comment below and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.